process. And I think we're live. Welcome back to the Sugoi Boyz podcast.
Hello.
A weekly episode of me muting my other tab just to ensure that, that's going well. As always, with me is J-Chip of the J-Chip Show. And potentially joining us in a bit will be Art from Art of Anime. And yeah, it's been it was a long week. And now another one's about to start, so that's fun. But
I also got an autograph from the one Harry Lolly.
He has a Harry Lolly autograph, ladies and gentlemen.
I do.
He does. He done does. And it's something to be jealous of.
Yeah. For some reason, there's tape here, but yeah, that could be anything.
For whatever reason, it's only showing the person that's like for some reason it's not showing both of our cameras.
Yeah, I've noticed that in the other podcasts.
For whatever reason, it used to switch on the whoever was talking, and I fucked that up somehow. So now it only shows whoever I'm clicking on. So I guess I'll just every once in a while I'll just switch faces. Hey, Sweet Pea, pretty jealous right now because he has the autograph, right? Because he has that Harry Lolly autograph. That's what everybody wants.
Donate $200 to my As with Patreon, and you'll get an autograph.
Yeah. I don't know how to switch this back so that way it shows whoever's speaking. If anybody knows, type it into chat because I don't.
We're cavemen. We don't know anything about technology.
That's for damn sure. Yeah. All right. So I'm just gonna do that. So like we do every week, and now of course my nose starts running. We usually can start with what we've been watching lately, and for me, it's going to be more or less the same stuff. So Ruby is still really good. Everyone should watch Ruby. In fact, I have a video that I'm actually writing currently. It might come out tomorrow. It might come out a little later this week, called Why Ruby is Awesome, and why you should go watch it. But Volume 6 is airing right now, and it's really, really good. And Clannad After Story, I'm on episode 8, 7. There's a very good arc that I just watched, and I can't wait to see Art and tell him how cool it was.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, Moe-tan is a show that got recommended to me by a patron. It's a very weird show about a lolly magical girl teaching a kid English. And it's weird.
I heard a rumor that you're watching that with Harry Lolly.
You heard a correct rumor, my friend.
What do you and Harry Lolly think of that show?
Well, I mean, I think it's weird. He probably loves it. I don't watch it at the same time with him. We text each other about it. So that's basically been it. I haven't really read any manga lately. I'm kind of slacking. Watching a lot of YouTube. I watched a whole Resident Evil 4 Let's Play.
You really needed that Let's Play, did you? Did you watch my review first before you go into that Let's Play?
Oh yeah, everybody's gonna go to J-Chip's channel and watch his review of Resident Evil 4 because you will not really understand. Yeah. One does not simply understand Resident Evil 4 until they see J-Chip Show's review of Resident Evil 4.
I think that was made in like 2014, 13 or something like that.
However, I have never seen the entire story mode of Resident Evil. Like, I didn't know like all the cutscenes, so it was cool to see for the first time.
What do you think of Sadler? His transformation.
He's like a lame boss. Like he's like really easy to beat.
To be fair, Resident Evil 4 has some of the easier boss. bosses. You just need a really good rocket launcher and a mine gun. That's really about it.
The person I was watching also did this weird like bug that you can do where you walk really fast.
Oh,
it's
see,
like
I don't. You see, I'm a real player. I'm a real man. I don't do that shit.
That's all it was doing. You equip a certain gun.
Yeah.
He equipped a certain gun and it like makes Leon walk like really fast, which makes the battle against it like really easy because like it can't catch you.
Against the bug thing in the sewers.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy's really easy. Just freeze him and blow him up.
Oh no, that's not what I'm talking about. No. It is the one where like the things are falling. Like you're on like the oh my god, like the metal,
you're
and they're falling.
You're in a cage, right?
You have to get out of it. Yeah, the cages. He chases you through the cages.
Yeah, that one's one of the more harder bosses.
Yeah, well, when you have super speed, he can't catch you, so you literally it's just like jumping around.
Yeah, I want to see you do a complete Let's Play of Resident Evil Code Veronica X. That'd be interesting.
I mean, I haven't beaten Resident Evil 4. I got stuck, and then I just decided to watch Let's Plays. Hey, Light. Hey, Warp. No filler. Resident Evil 4 ain't tough to begin with. I got stuck because I ran... Where I'm at is actually... And when I was watching the Let's Play, the guy was like, yeah, this room sucks. It's after you shoot... After the blind dude with the bells, you go into a room with a whole bunch of heretics and shit... And you gotta. The best way to do it is to like run like downstairs, because you gotta turn on. You have to turn on these like levers that pull up these cranks, and eventually I'm gonna have to have Ashley crank this shit. But I can't get there because I have to kill these fucking heretics, and then they're all over the goddamn place. Even if I do the strategy of waiting in the room, I can't leave Ashley behind because they fall through the goddamn ceiling. And then
this is why you give Ashley a knife or a gun.
I didn't think I could do that.
You can't do that, but that's why they should have thought of that.
Yes, it would have made the game a lot better.
It would have made it like I love Resident Evil 4. It's one of the best games for the PS2. But Ashley ruins that game. So
I mean, she's better than Sheva.
Yeah, well, Sheva at least fights.
But Ashley's also hotter.
Well, she's 16.
She's 18. She's in college.
Well, screw it. She looks like she's 16. But hey, she
at the beginning of the story, they say that she's studying at a university. So unless she's some kind of mad genius that's in college at 16,
she's the president's daughter. Damn it.
Yeah.
Also, at the end.
I watched The Last of Us. See, I live like vicariously through games. I've never played The Last of Us, but I watched a whole Let's Play of The Last of Us, and I liked the story. Except I did not like how the game, like the combat.
I've never played The Last of Us. I know it's a really awesome game to jerk off to, but it's not my style.
Its story is cool. I feel like it'd be like a cool movie, but like.
Yeah.
The weird, like, I have a problem with games where they're like, they make like the baddies like OP, and like that game, like you spend so much time like fucking like crawling around and shit because if the clickers hear you, they come up to you and they bite your neck in 2 seconds, and then they one shot you, and it's bullshit.
Also, I want to address everyone: clickers are zombies. Don't think that they're not.
Don't you dare.
Last of Us is a zombie game, whether you like it or not.
Don't you dare think that they're not. But what have you been watching recently, Mr. Jason?
I watched White Album. I'm 6 episodes in. It's like School Days.
In a good way or a bad way?
It's worse than School Days.
Okay.
I like the fact that White Album is set in the 1980s. The OP is really stupid. The main character, I would say, is more bland than Makoto, but I like pretty much everyone else, and that's about it.
but there's no decapitations.
I hope there is because I don't like the main character.
Okay, we'll hold out for that.
I'm watching Inuyasha.
Hey,
I finished one whole episode today. It was all right. And I'm still reading Bleach. I finished the substitute arc.
How many like volumes is that?
Like 8.
Holy shit!
And then the rest is the Soul Society in that box set.
Damn, dude. I haven't read 8 volumes of manga in a long time. I still have Nausicaa on my shelf that I bought at last year's Anime Boston that I said I wanted to watch before I watched the movie. I still haven't watched the movie either. I said I wanted to read that before watching the movie, and I still haven't done either. Like, it's an unopened box set that I bought for, like, I think it was kind of expensive.
Speaking of movies, how about that Makoto Shinkai movie?
How about more Makoto Shinkai movie getting me 100 and almost 200 views, which is 199 more than my videos normally get. 8 volumes is pretty small in my eyes, but yeah, but you gotta understand, Warp, that most series that I've read are only about 8 volumes. In fact, like A Silent Voice is 7, Chrono Crusade is 8, Deadman Wonderland's 13. I usually read stuff in omnibus format too. So like for me, it's the idea. I also don't read manga digitally. So for me, it's about like just the physical nature of reading it, right? So it's like if I read an omnibus, it's a lot of pages, but it's like one book.
So you just prefer this?
For what?
You just prefer this way of reading it?
Yeah. I mean, I'd prefer it if it was... Is that just a single volume?
Yeah, it's just a single volume of Bleach.
I'd prefer omnibus stuff, but...
It's still got Charizard on there.
Yeah, he called Chad Charizard last week.
Yeah, but like, seriously, look how badass Chad is.
Dude, he just punches shit.
Yeah, he's awesome. I wish he had more screen time.
I wish it was the Chad show. I also own Full Metal Alchemist... The entire Full Metal Alchemist manga, all 27 volumes, and the light novel. And you know how much this is going to piss Warp off. I've owned it for about 2 years, and I've read 1 volume. Maybe only like a couple chapters. I have FMA in omnibus, I know what you mean.
The great thing about Bleach, as well as other shonen manga, is that you can finish a volume in like 5 minutes.
Oh, action manga are the best. Because it's just like...
nothing but like paragraphs and cool art.
Yeah. That's what's kind of cool about some of the Dead Men Wonderland volumes, was because they would have like the Dead Men fight. I forget what they call it.
Yeah.
Carnival Corpse?
Something like that. Dead Man Wonderland's a blur to me.
Hey, I like Dead Men. It's the first manga I ever finished.
I've never read the manga. I've seen the anime and I didn't like it.
Oh, we'll get into that because it has a shitty ending. Just got it. But yeah, you asked about the Makoto Shinkai movie. I'm excited. I will see it in theater. Like I said in my video, I have to like prepare my eyeballs for something that's going to look so good, unless he decides to slack off. Because I'm going to say this again, and people will probably certain people probably won't like this. I like the way the Garden of Words looks. I like everything about the Garden of Words better. But I think the Garden of Words is a better looking film than Your Name. I think Your Name is amazing looking, but it's in some ways it's a sort of like, it doesn't have as many like, I don't think like iconic like looking scenes as the Garden of Words does.
Yeah. I think 5 centimeters per second looks better than both.
That's fair. I like that movie a lot too. I just like Garden of Words better. But yeah, so tonight's hey Gabe. Should you guys hit that like button? Hey, I will see a Shinkai movie, but pirating it illegally. Pirate the shit out of it, dude. Don't let anybody tell you how to watch shit.
Speaking of that, I'm looking forward to watching the new Dragon Ball movie.
Dragon Ball Evolution 2?
Sure.
Hey, Axel. Hey, Bobbits. Well, Miasmits, I guess. Yeah, dude.
And I also want to go see the new Mamoru Hosoda movie.
Mirai, I believe it's called.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to go to the movies to go watch it because it was pretty close to where I live, but I couldn't because snow and I had to shovel.
Damn.
So that sucks.
Art might join us later. Art had to, so there's some work obligations sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes he'll close a bit later. He may get on in like a half hour, kind of like that one podcast where he shows up with a sandwich.
Also, I do apologize. I am switching the camera back and forth between me and Justin because for whatever reason I fucked it up, and it used to just the camera would switch to display whoever was talking, and now it's not doing that automatically. If anybody knows Google Hangouts enough to tell me how I can fix that, I don't know if you can do it while we're live, but let me know because I'm stupid.
After this podcast, just let us know if you can help us.
Or that, yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be me clicking on each of our faces as we speak.
Yeah.
But neither of us are that pretty anyway, so I kind of hope that you're... I think I would prefer if you just tab into something else and then just listen to us. Don't look at me. So, Mamoru Hosoda interests me heavily because I have the only thing I've ever seen by him is Summer Wars.
Yeah.
And Summer Wars was like I know people really like it, but I didn't see why.
Summer Wars is Digimon the movie all over again.
I was really off put by like they made it seem, and maybe it's just because I'm an American. But like when they get to the part about like the card game,
yeah,
I had like I feel like they thought that you had a much better grasp of what the fuck was going on because she's playing this card game that is like definitely this like Japanese thing, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it's just like, oh, she's playing so well. She says like weird phrases and stuff, and I'm like, what is this? Chihaya Furu? Like, what is going on?
Yeah. That show's really good, by the way.
Light says the Boy and the Beast is complete shit. Summer Wars was decent, pretty messy. Summer Wars, yeah, I saw it a long time ago. I might have to watch it again. I do want to watch The Girl That Lived Through Time.
Wolf Children is my favorite out of all of his movies.
I meant to say that one. I do want to watch The Girl That Lived Through Time, but I want to see Wolf Children.
Yeah, both movies are good. Just watch them both back to back.
In fact, here's a sneak preview for a future Miasma video. I'll tell everybody here. I'm going to talk about this in a video. So, once again, your sneak peek is I think next year. Now, don't trust this. If you've known me for a while, you know you can't trust me, right? So when I make plans, just like me trying to stay committed to currently airing shows, and that never happens.
2 episode Tuesday.
2 episode test, yeah. What I want to do, especially with patrons, starting in January, is do like watch along movies, like watch like maybe a couple times a month or so, just get together, watch a movie, and probably just be like a Discord, Patreon kind of deal. And Wolf Children will be up there. I have a cluster of movies that I want to do, and I also want to. Look at this. You get 2 sneak peeks for the price of 1 before the end of December. Even though I got a lot of video work I got to do / watching anime to do because I got 2 requests for shows to watch. That means 2 reviews to do and some other videos that I want to do. For Christmas, I will be doing Tokyo Godfathers.
Okay. That's a really good movie.
Because I have never seen that, and I know it takes place during Christmas. But so yeah, there's that going on. There will be another video of my plans for next year because I got some ideas in place for next year involving patrons, involving this podcast, involving you guys who I talked to that aren't either of those things because I love you all. But let's get to. Oh yeah, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah. So like, I'm one of your patrons. And you already have your anime selected for January.
Yes.
Yes, it is a movie, and that's all I will say.
All right, so let's get to sort of the topic at hand. We touched on it a little bit. People are talking about fireworks in the chat. I am interested to see fireworks. When I went to, I hate to keep bragging about this, but I got to go to Japan in the summer of 2017, and there were posters for fireworks all over the goddamn place. And I was like, that's a really cool looking movie. But
yeah, I want to go see that too.
We mentioned Dead Man Wonderland. And, this week was a struggle to think of a topic, so I had asked Discord, and our good friend Warpbait here sort of led us on the right path of talking about, like, how we thought about, like, kind of, like, filler stuff, and then I thought of, like endings that might have been shit, or endings that might have been non-canon or something, and I figured it's something we haven't really talked about here, and I think that we could, sort of maybe the pluses and minuses of, or whatever we've experienced with filler. Because if you've ever watched Naruto, you know what that is. Or if you ever watched Bleach. So I guess I'll start.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say? You gonna mention another fillery type show?
Probably something like Dragon Ball.
Or Dragon Ball. There we go.
But I was gonna say, like it's our 25th podcast, and most anime end at episode 25, and this is the filler.
It's also like just before our like pre-Christmas episode, which I don't know how that's going to be any different. Maybe we'll dress as elves. But so this is the filler episode before Christmas.
Don't get your hopes up.
There you go. You heard it here. Axel actually raises a point. If definition of filler includes stuff that is your definition of filler stuff that's not in the manga. Yeah, but I mean, see, for me, like at the end of the day, that factor of it kind of like does not matter as much because I don't necessarily read every source material, right? Mm-hmm. So this is my prime example of this. So Full Metal Alchemist and then Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, the age-old discussion. So Full Metal Alchemist 2003, I believe it was, the original one, was the second anime that I ever watched. And so it was Inuyasha and then that one, like completed. Like I'd seen like a couple episodes here and there. And with that one, I had no real like thoughts as to like what manga was or anything regarding source material, right? So I watched FMA, and for those of you that have seen it, which I'm assuming is most people, you get to the later parts of FMA. FMA is a great show, okay? You always say the nice things before you say the bad stuff, right? So FMA, awesome show. Iconic, one of the coolest fucking anime I've seen. Mm-hmm. And then you get to the latter episode, like toward the end, and you get to Robo Frank Archer, and then you get to the weird Berlin shit, and then you get to the weird, like, yeah, the weird other side of the door, the gate. And then I remember distinctly back then, I was like, as like a teenager, or what? How old was I? That would have been mid-2000s, so probably like 13, right? I remember back then, this is fucking weird. Like, what happened to this story? Like, this was so, like, rooted in this, like, a Amestris world, and now it's, like, now there's, like, a portal to, like, our world. Like, what the fuck is going on? Now there's robots. Like, what is happening? And I had no idea. That's how I thought FMA just was. I had no idea about manga, anything. I went on. It didn't make me stop watching anime or anything. I just thought that was weird. Still love the show. And then... like, I didn't see Brotherhood for, like, a really long time. By the time I watched Brotherhood, then I knew what had gone on. Then I watched Brotherhood, and Brotherhood I fucking adore. Brotherhood is fantastic. So, I don't think necessarily, like, the mindset of me saying, like, oh, I know this isn't in the manga, so I know it's just filler bullcrap. Because I think some filler bullcrap can be good. You can have extra stuff thrown in, which I'm sure happens. But if it's something off-putting like Robo Frank Archer, then yeah, I don't like it. Like and Conqueror Shambhala, that was shit. I hate that.
Come
movie.
on now.
I
Come on
own
now.
it.
Come on.
Fucking
Come on.
dumb. It. You like Conqueror Shambhala?
I like it more than the other movie.
Okay, that's not saying much. Secret Star of Milos is ass.
Well, both movies are kind of eh.
Yeah. But yeah, so like something like that, it's just something that I find bothersome. Like if it's just something that's like a weird, and I just like, I'm not really a fan of the sort of like one-offy type episodes. So my example that I'm going to bring up here is Samurai Champloo, and that is a show not adapted from an anime original. They had a manga adaptation afterward, but oh my god, I can't remember his name now. The fucking director of Bebop,
Watanabe.
Shinichiro Watanabe. Thank you. Iconic director, right? However, he also made Terror in Residence, and we should all forget that. But he made Cowboy Bebop, arguably one of the best anime ever made. Makes Samurai Champloo. First time watching Champloo, it's fucking great. I think it's not that great if you rewatch it, but that's just me. Mostly because this is why I kind of don't like it anymore. You have these episodes that are just like fucking throwaways. Like the fucking baseball episode. You got the mushroom episode. You got the weird one where they're like carting the gay Dutch dude around the place. And he's like, I want to like smell the flowers or something. I don't fucking remember what he was doing. But I remember the baseball one, and I remember the mushroom. The mushroom episode is the worst fucking travesty of an episode like I've ever seen. Like that's like ostrich level. Like the ostrich level in Naruto. Kind of bullshit. The Brotherhood finale is the worst part. I love the Brotherhood finale. I think that is a great like wrap bow on the story.
I think Brotherhood's ending is way better than the originals.
Yeah, the originals is just like, I mean,
I don't hate the original ending. I think it raises a lot of questions, and it was just weird with that one bitch that's just decaying. You know, like I didn't like her. The robot I thought was cool, but not in the way that is good. Like I think it's cool that like it felt like an American something like I don't know. You ever see Futurama?
I love
Futurama. And the scene where President Nixon is in like a body.
Yes,
that's what it kind of reminds me of.
You know what I just thought of though? On the flip side of this, the beginning of Brotherhood, very literally episode 1 of Brotherhood, right, has a character, Isaac McDougal, Isaac the Freezer, who is anime original. I thought that was a cool start to the series. I think they show you a little too much going on with the fear, for my take. I think they should have kept that a little more in the shadows. But yeah. I like how they made this Isaac the Freezer guy, and I like his alchemy and shit. So it is very possible. Like filler, I'm not saying filler is always bad. You gotta understand, I'm somebody that watched Inuyasha multiple times in my life. Kill me. Season, I believe it's 4. Season 4 of Inuyasha is 90% filler. It's just them wandering around, and it's just Demon of the Week, and then it doesn't really matter. Sometimes they don't even get a jewel shard. Sometimes it's just some random bullshit. All right? I still love the show to death. So it's not necessarily that I hate it all, but I love me some of that Brotherhood ending. Warp said the Mushroom episode is the only one I dislike. Yeah, the Mushroom episode's fucking weird. Soul Eater's great.
Soul Eater was one of the things where I didn't know what manga. Well, I knew what manga was, but I didn't think that Soul Eater and the manga were different.
Right.
I thought they were all the same. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh is totally the same in the manga as it is in the anime. But when I got to that ending, I was confused because I thought, oh, there should be more. I feel like something's missing. I didn't hate it. but it just felt like something was missing.
Right. Trying to think of like another example. Both FMA have great endings. Prefer the bittersweet ending of the original, but Brotherhood is more satisfying as a casual viewer. Yeah, that's a great point. Original FMA is a far more somber sort of thing, especially if you go by Shambhala, because Shambhala ends and it's just like, well, you know, Winry and Ed aren't gonna bang.
It's like it feels like a video game where you get a good and a bad ending.
Yeah. Which is odd, actually, because now I think about this, and for those that have been around the channel a while, we talked about him earlier. One thing I praise about Makoto Shinkai is that when he makes films, it's not necessarily this buttery, sweet ending, right? Yeah. It is more so rooted in reality. That's another reason why I don't think Your Name is as good as his other movies. Because that one kind of has just like a lot of like cliche, like, hey, this worked out in the end. But for some reason with Brotherhood, like it's such a long journey. Like I just wanted that. Like I wanted it to be, I don't know. It was just the ending that I wanted. But when it comes to, like we talked about Dead Man Wonderland, now that's a show that I watched years ago, right? And then this is before I was even reading manga. It's like 13 episodes long, and like the 13th episode is just like an OVA that's not even fucking worth it. So you sit through 12 episodes, and you get this cool story, and then the end of episode 12 is like this weird cliffhanger bullshit. Then the mangaka got pregnant at the time, had to take a break, and the show wasn't very popular in Japan, so they never did a season 2.
Couldn't she just like get pregnant at a different time?
Yeah, how dare she? J-Chip's right. Change her biological clock. No, but the show kind of flopped in Japan. So for a while, like I just knew Dead Man Wonderland as like that was the ending. Then I wanted to get into manga, and the very first manga that I ever completed, and this was only a couple years ago, I would say in 2016, maybe, was Dead Man Wonderland. I still have all the volumes on my shelf over there. I say over there as if they can see it. The other side of this monitor. And it's cool. All the volumes look like they're black, white, like a prism. And the manga for Dead Man Wonderland is fucking awesome. It goes way more in depth about characters. There's way more characters overall, and it's just really, really cool. The ending of that is also really, really nice. Way better compared to the anime. Now, what I wish... Go ahead.
The anime didn't really end. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. I would rather them just have some anime ending there.
I'd rather take the Full Metal ending way more than a Dead Man Wonderland ending.
Yeah.
Because at least it's complete.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with the concept that they made an ending in FMA. I just have my issues are with its execution.
Yeah.
Like that's fine that they did that. It wasn't just like, well, see you in the manga. Like, okay, as an Inuyasha fan, and this is spoilers for when Justin gets there. During Inuyasha's initial run, at the end of season 7, I believe it is, whatever the last original season was, episode 167. They're literally, I'm going to need a tissue in a moment. Episode 167. They're literally like, oh, and we'll get you, Naraku, next time. And then there's no next time for years. Luckily, they finished it off because it was a popular show. But I would rather, with Dead Man Wonderland, if they just gave me one more episode that was just some kind of weird ending instead of just never going back to it. Or a movie. Blood Sea got a movie to finish it, and that show shucks. It shucks. Sucks, by the way. But yeah, do you agree with me on that? So you like me, Justin, you'd rather see like an anime original ending and continue on that as I grab a tissue. But please elaborate. I will be right back.
Oh no, you guys get to deal with me. But like, yeah, I would rather just deal with like an original ending because like, imagine if you're showing it to someone that's new, like, let's say they're just getting into anime. It's not really cool if you're just gonna show them Denma Wonderland, where they're not gonna get a complete experience. But I feel like if you show them something like Soul Eater, that's ending is complete. I feel like that would be better for a new person to kind of watch. I don't know if you heard my entire lecture on that.
No,
but
I
like,
totally disagree. You're full of shit.
yeah.
No, just kidding.
Basically, I said that like if you show someone new to Denma Wonderland, they're not going to get a complete experience, and they're going to be confused as fuck when they get to that last episode.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
if you show them Soul Eater or the original Fullmetal Alchemist, yeah, it's not a good ending, but at least it's complete.
Soul Eater, prime example. I'm glad you brought that up. You know that, and just like Brotherhood, actually weird. Maybe it's a Studio Bones thing, but that has its own ending. It has a lot of differences from the manga, as I've read. Not read the manga, but I literally Googled one day the differences between the anime and the manga. And so I read through those, and again, I liked how it had closure. However, I loved Soul Eater. I think its last few episodes are its weakest point, just like in Brotherhood.
Yeah.
However, I'm still happy that it ended. Like I just don't like. I'm still salty years later. Like I just mentioned, the Inuyasha will get you, Naraku. Yeah, you've watched 167 episodes. Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. That's basically what they said. That's the credits.
Read the manga.
Well, no, I just didn't, and I just waited for Final Act to come out. And I didn't even watch Final Act. I was not watching anime when Final Act came out. I didn't see it for like a year or two later. And then I finished the shit out of it, and then I bought it all, and I love it.
Yeah.
But I see Noragami, or I also see. Okay, I need to catch up with. I dislike the length of Yu Yu Hakusho's tournament arc. It was longer than it needed to be. MHA actually does that better. Even if it's worse overall, it doesn't prolong the obvious from happening. I'm still in the Hakusho tournament arc. Not that like I consistently watch it, but
I'll give you that. It's a bit longer, but I wouldn't say it's better than the My Hero Academia tournament arcs, because at least in Yu Yu Hakusho there are more interesting characters in that fight tournament, like Jin, the Irish dude,
who flies or floats or something.
Yeah, he's got the power of the wind.
Denma Wonderland did end. There's no season 2. Yeah, I mean, just the manga is good. The Denma Wonderland anime was supposed to end like that. Everything is left unresolved. Yeah, but the manga has so much more, dude. Like the manga is like, it has way more dead men. Like first, like the anime is kind of flawed in the sense that like they really focus on like bullshit when like nobody cares about the goddamn security guard lady with big tits, but like she's in a lot of scenes, and in the manga, she's there, but like,
Also, the anime just kind of like info dumps like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
because it's like in the middle you got that birdcage fight. Later towards the end, you know what an Undertaker some shit is, and then like they're trying to get to like this like wheel thing or whatever, and it's like the show just info dumps like hell, and it just expects you to read the manga, which is not which is not cool.
Yeah, I will say this to anybody making anime, because they're watching, they care about what we say. Don't fucking give me read the manga bullshit, because I'm going to tell you this. I think anime is better than manga. I like anime better than manga. I'd rather see it in color. I'd rather see it in motion. I do like manga a lot. There are manga that I adore. But at the same time, I prefer to see them animated. Like I'm reading Vinland Saga. 3 books into Vinland Saga. It's fucking awesome. Everyone should read it. However, I'm going to keep reading the manga because it's probably one of the best manga I've ever read. Am I going to watch the anime? Fuck yeah. I can't wait for the anime to come out. And I'm actually going to keep reading the manga. I'm going to do both. I love Inuyasha. I'm buying all of the Inuyasha manga. I have 6 or so of the omnibuses. It's pretty much the same story. But I did want to see it in manga form. Do I still prefer the anime? Yeah, because I watched anime first, and I'm an anime pleb.
I'm pretty sure Deadman Wonderland would have been a better anime if you knew what happens in the manga. Like it'd be like the best moments of the Deadman Wonderland manga, kind of like Pupa in a way.
Pupa. I never saw Pupa.
Pupa's a much worse show. Don't ever watch it. But I'm sure the manga is great.
Blood Sea, the movie is way worse than the anime. Blood Sea was awful in general. It just had a whole bunch of gore. Anime original endings. Yeah, don't. Anime original. The Blood Sea OP is nice though. It's in French.
I just saw like the bunny dude like eating people, and I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
And then I've been told like that's all you need to watch from the show.
Yes, I believe I might have been the person to tell you that.
I have watched the other Blood show called Blood Plus.
That one I've heard is good.
That one's all right.
Anime original endings are fine, better than nothing at all. I agree. Soul Eater is one of the first anime I saw. Almost turned me off of anime. Soul Eater is really good, dude. Come on,
I don't think the ending would turn anybody off.
I didn't really like the ending of Soul Eater all that much.
I didn't. Okay.
It just feels rushed. Like the whole Kishin arc, like, that's like if I had like overrated anime arcs, it would be like Chimera Ant, Kishin. Noragami tackles endings well. Season 1 ended in a way where things can continue, but if it didn't, it wrapped up its current arc nicely. Yeah. Actually, look, there's a point that me and Light agree on. I fucking love Noragami. I've seen all of the anime, and I've read 17 volumes of the manga.
I've never read the manga, but I've seen both seasons.
It's really good. It's a very good adaptation of the manga. There are some character differences. I kind of like Yato in the manga a little better. It's kind of hard to explain why. He's just a little like he's just kind of a little more. He's more enjoyable to read than he is to watch. Because in the show, he's a little bit. He's a little more of like a dick, like an asshole in the manga, and it's like funny in that sense. And like in the anime, he's just kind of goofy. He's still goofy in both, but as I said, it's hard to explain. But the manga for Noragami, I recommend anybody read it. We need a season 3, which is probably not going to happen.
Yeah. Thanks, My Hero Academia.
Yeah, My Hero Academia gets like 19 seasons, and then we can't get good shows.
Here's the thing. I feel like anime nowadays is doing better with filler. Like, think of My Hero Academia, Black Clover, all these shonen shows that are just going the seasonal route, where it's not like a long run-in show like Naruto or Bleach. I think the seasonal route is a lot smarter because it gets the manga to get more caught up, and you'll be able to get more material for the anime.
Yeah. I think in general, I wish that the entire industry would wait longer. I wish they would be like, but instead for sometimes it's like, oh, hey, this guy's written 3 volumes. We got to get this shit out there. Let's animate this shit. And then like, well, we caught up in fucking 3 episodes. So what are we going to do now? Detective Conan does filler. Oh, go ahead.
What's interesting is that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a lot of filler. And I believe the manga ends during the ending of the Battle City.
Oh.
Then in the anime, they go off into a filler arc. Actually, go into 2 filler arcs. And then the last, where they're all in Egypt, is like the Millennium Worlds, which is like the sequel to Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
That's something that pisses me off is the term, like whenever you get to say the term filler arc. To me, why do we have an entire arc of filler? That implies a group of episodes that seem maybe bullshit. Like, I could
Bleach
see
had 50
maybe
episodes dedicated to the Bound, which was nothing but 100% genuine filler, and it dragged like a son of a bitch.
It's just dumb.
I don't think filler arcs are necessarily bad, but don't do it in the middle of like a canon arc, because that's what Yu-Gi-Oh did. After
shout out to Naruto Shippuden in the Ninja War. when there's
Shout
a
out to
fucking ninja war going on, and then it's like, we're gonna show you 16 episodes of these Jonin you know when they were kids. Isn't that interesting? Don't you want to see that?
After a big fight on Bleach, they'll just go straight into a filler arc.
Apparently, according to Warp, Detective Conan does filler decent. Some episodes are bad, but others are really good.
I mean, to be fair with Detective Conan, a lot of the episodes are kind of the same, where they're just solving a murder or something. But like, you can skip those episodes easily and then just follow the main storyline.
I do have a confession. What I used to do for, and Warp, the fact that I just brought up Warp reminded me of this. For when I was watching Shippuden, which I never even finished, by the way. Whenever I would know, because I was so far behind everybody else. Whenever I knew an arc was going to be filler, I would always look on the actually before I would watch the episodes, I would look at the Naruto wiki, and I would see the arc, right, that it was part of.
Yeah.
And if I saw that it was a filler arc, sometimes I would just read through the wiki pages of the episodes. So like a lot of those, like I have read so many wiki articles of fucking that I probably could have saved time just watching the episodes. But I would just read the fucking wiki episodes, the wiki synopsises of the episodes. But yeah, Bones is probably using the Hero Acca money for Mob Psycho Season 2, which I'm all for because it looks absolutely gorgeous. Mob Psycho Season 2 is going to be beautiful to see, I am sure. Yeah, I don't. Is that 100% confirmed? Mob Psycho Season 2?
Yeah, actually, I think it is.
I hope so.
I think it is. I'm not sure.
Cardcaptor Sakura has. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I know One Punch Man has a Season 2 confirmed.
Well, that's good. They're both good in their own right. One does some good stuff. Cardcaptor Sakura has great filler. Some of the best episodes are filler. That's coming from the Cardcaptor Sakura fan club over there, known as Light Lelouch. But it's okay because I'm an Inuyasha fanboy. I even have the hoodie over there. I'm sorry, it's not a hoodie. It's the cloak of the fire rat. I feel the same with Cash and Sins. The filler episodes are just absolutely fantastic. I've never seen Cash and... Oh, come on, Psycho Season 2 has a trailer already. Damn, I'm going to have to check out that trailer then, Axel.
Yeah. Cash and Sins doesn't appeal to me.
I hate the way Cash and Sins kind of... I've only seen like promo of it, and I don't like the way that it's animated.
I've heard the synopsis, and I saw the picture of the robots and the characters, and I was just like, eh.
Yeah.
Also, Bob said it was overrated in one of his videos, so shout out to Bob.
So says Bob, so say we all. That's how we are, I guess, around here. Sure. Even though he doesn't like Steins Gate. Steins Gate's good.
I don't like Steins Gate, but I'm still giving it a 7 out of 10.
I don't like Steins Gate 0. I like Steins Gate 1, or if we're gonna call it that. So yeah, I mean, like, it's a complicated subject. You know, does filler exists? I feel like it has its place. Sometimes you can have a filler. Like, I'm trying to think of a filler that I did not mind existing.
There is one famous filler episode in Dragon Ball Z where Goku gets his license.
With Piccolo?
Yeah, that's an amazing episode, even though it's filler.
I'm sure there are some Inuyasha episodes that I really like that are filler, like from like season 4 and from other. There's 193 of them, so there's bound to be something.
There's a filler arc in Bleach where I like where the Zanpakuto spirits come to life, and they have to fight them. But the one thing I like about that is that the mangaka drew the designs of the Zanpakuto spirits, but everyone else just kind of worked on it. I had to work on the story. I kind of like that because at least the creator did something with it.
How about this is not adapted from anything, but I would still consider this. I would call this a filler episode. In Ruby Volume 1 or Volume 2, there's a whole episode where they're cleaning their room. Well, not cleaning their room. They're roommates and they have to like organize their room. And it's one of those really short ones. It's like a 7-minute episode, but it's mostly them just like arguing about where shit's supposed to go.
Yeah.
So that's how I guess I would define filler, because it could be from something that's not necessarily adapted from an original material. It's just kind of like a branch story that's not entirely necessary.
Yeah.
It doesn't push forward anything. Not to say that those could be so like a lot of, and generally I'm kind of biased against this because I generally hate episodic storytelling, which is contradictory to me loving Cowboy Bebop. I know.
Cowboy Bebop is the more easily consumed episodic shows.
Like, how I would define it is like I hate stuff like Twilight Zone, Kino's Journey.
Pokemon's episodic.
And I never said Pokemon. The video games are great. The anime, not so much.
You could say the mystery dungeons are filler.
Sure, they're filler. But I like Shampoo. For the most part, I just hate those stupid fucking the baseball, the mushroom, and the fucking. I'm sure there's another one that I don't remember. I don't know.
You also don't like Fu.
Fu is kind of annoying. I'm all about Gene, though. Gene is the man because he's voiced by Kirk Thornton, who is the voice actor for Brandon Heat in fucking Gungrave. But even Gene, he gets like the fucking episode where he's banging the prostitute, and then they're like, he has this like little like side romance with this prostitute, and he sets her free, right, from her shitty life, and they never talk about that ever again.
Yeah. So, what do you think of like those beach episodes? What does Harry Lolly think about those beach filler episodes?
Okay, Harry Lolly loves beach episodes. Fucking beach episodes are annoying. Chobits beach episode, dumb. Fucking what else has another beach episode? Stupid. Besides, I'm pretty sure a kid gets killed by a boat or something. I forget. That one was kind of cool. Stupid.
Every anime has to have a beach episode.
Yeah, fuck it. You know, beach episodes, ew. Shout out to Bob's Burgers.
Fairy Tail had a shit ton of beach episodes.
I'm sure Fairy Tail is a fuck ton of filler. It's like 9 million episodes long.
I don't know. I dropped it during its canon material.
I'll touch on this. I hate recap episodes.
Yeah, recap and flashback episodes are annoying. Naruto does that a lot.
We just hate Naruto.
I like Naruto.
Kidding.
I just hate its filler sometimes.
Naruto is a special show in my heart, but I have a lot of dislike of a lot of it just because it's like the fucking ostrich. Like I remember that was one that was in the OG Naruto that I also did that same trick where if I found out it was filler, I would just read the thing, the wiki. So I remember I read that wiki article about the ostrich episode in Naruto, and I literally was like, why am I... That's like one of the few times I've ever questioned watching anime. I remember reading the plot. I was like, what am I doing in my life? I read the plot to the ostrich episode where him and Sasuke have to like get an ostrich or some shit. And I was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, what is happening? Like, why aren't I just like normal people talking about like, I don't know, what was back then? Not Game of Thrones. I don't know. Fucking
Walking Dead.
Sure. But yeah, that was, oh my god. Green had a pointless recap in episode 5. It was so pointless because nothing much happened to the anime. Yeah, fucking episode 5. Hunter x Hunter does that shit on like episode like 12. They're like, hey, if you forgot what the others, don't recap me. Don't recap me. No.
That's what we already know. Like, why do you gotta do recaps, man?
They gotta fill up a contractual.
But you know what's worse? What do you think of those recap movies? An entire movie that is just a recap.
Okay, this is an interesting thing. Another little bit of a miasma quirk, to use a Hiroaka term. Uh, this kind of ties in with my random dislike of episodic stuff. Uh, I generally stay away from movies based on like anime franchises that I like. Like for example, like I didn't watch the Inuyasha movies until like a year ago. Um, I don't really watch the Naruto movies, even when I really was really into Naruto. I've seen a couple of them. Um, I just, I it's just it's the same idea that it's just a long episode that's not tied to anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of like, and then at the end of it, it bothers me that like the characters are never going to talk about those moments ever again. Like it's just like, all right, well then what was the fucking point? Like we could this could have not happened and we would have been fine. So like to your question, like a recap movie, no thanks. Like Madoka, what comes to mind with me is Madoka Magica.
Mm-hmm.
So you get they did two, and then Rebellion's great because Rebellion's its own thing. But at the same time, I do like the Ava rebuilds to a certain extent.
Well, that at least has some time to it. Like I don't mind like recaps if it's like 20 years later. Also,
oh yeah, go ahead.
Axel says, "What's the best recap episode?"
The best recap episode. That's like saying what's
the best STD?
That's like saying what's like your favorite flavor of rotten egg.
I don't know. You decide.
A best recap episode. Good question, Axel. Do you have one?
Yeah, because I can't. I usually skip them.
I skip them. They're fucking annoying. Oh no, I know. I kind of like the one in Skryed where she's writing like a journal. With her Nimari is writing a journal. She gets imprisoned, right? And she discusses like what's gone on to get her there because she thinks she might get killed, so she wants to leave a record behind of what's going on. And I only like this because she goes through all of. If you don't know, Skryed's a show about these people with alter power. It's like X-Men. There's people with like these like mutant powers, right? And she writes this like journal about every alter user, every mutant that she's encountered on this journey, and she chronicles like what their power is. Yeah. So it's if you weren't like maybe paying attention to them, or if you had forgotten about certain people, some of those people also come back into the story. They matter. So it's like, oh yeah, that's what this guy does. So it recaps it, and it's just kind of cool. And I'm about the anime powers. So that would be my favorite recap episode was in Skryed. Recaps should only be used in long-running shows. Even at that point, like I feel like if you're committed enough to the long-running show, why do you need the recap?
I get the argument. Like, if the recap is from a different character's point of view, I could accept that.
Okay. I could see that, I guess. Is there like an example of that?
Like, let's say, I don't know. Let's say Dragon Ball Z. Let's say they make a recap episode and it focuses on like Frieza's point of view.
Okay. A show that I'm about to embark on soon next year, sometime next year. A certain scientific railgun. I know chronicles a lot of the events that go on in a certain magical index, but from another character's point of view. So that interests me a little bit. I guess that might be a good example. Oh, Axel. I love the theater episode in Avatar, near the end, which is technically a recap episode, and also near the end of Tatami Galaxy. Half of an episode, the MC is having a retrospective of himself and previous events. Another show that I really want to watch that I have not yet. Avatar I have seen. I actually have a review of it. And it's an anime fuck everybody, fight me. And I'm not stealing that line from a much more popular YouTuber or anything. But Avatar, the theater episode, that's a good one. You know what? You just reminded me. Thank you very much, Axel. I'm a big fan of the episode with the fire. I'm going to call them the Fire Kids, but oh my God, Prince Zuko and his sister, and they're with their two friends from the Fire Nation, the girl from the circus and the Zuko's girlfriend. They go to the beach, and this is the best. There we go. This is the best beach episode. They go to a beach and they sit by a fire and they each talk about kind of like their background up until this point in Avatar, and it's kind of like interesting. I'm also a big fan of like antagonists, so for a lot of Avatar, the Fire Nation obviously is the other side of the table here, and we get to see that these characters are people. They have besides his sister, really, they have like real issues going on and stuff like that. Even though they were the enemy, so that's a good example of, and again, not really adapted from a source material, but I would consider sort of a fillery episode that was pretty enjoyable. But yeah, that one was good. Half of one serial experiment. Late episode is a recap, but it has purpose. Yeah, that sounds about familiar. It's been a long time since I've seen that. Ty, Lee, Azula, and May. Thank you, Warp. He knows their names. But yeah, so I mean, I guess we could summarize it here. For me, I'll go and then you go. Sorry, Justin, but I'll just summarize my thoughts on all of this kind of stuff because there's a lot of different terminology going around about stuff. So I guess anything that's necessarily like non-canon fillery type shit. I define a fillery episode as something that doesn't necessarily like progress the plot. It could be something that you could like overlook and still kind of have the same appreciation for it. It could add to it. It could take away. I don't necessarily care about the original source material. I would prefer if there were an anime original ending rather than just leaving it at a go read the manga ending, because fuck those. But they could end up fucking that up too. And there are some good filler episodes, as I named, and beach episodes and recap episodes for the most part suck. So that's basically my recap of everything that we've sort of talked about. J-Chip
asks.
Oh, okay.
Light Lotus asks, how would you rate the Sugoi Boyz recap episode?
I'd give it a 9.1 repeating out of 30. No, I was kidding. No, this one's been okay. I wish Art was here, but we get to. It's you know what? Actually, I've really liked this episode because we've had a good amount of chat tonight. A lot of different people talking, and I really like that. I really like to see you guys. I'm sorry if there were things that I missed, because that's one thing I hate about watching Twitch is when I type something to someone and they start to answer the question and then they might get distracted or something. If I did that with you, I'm sorry. But you can always just like reach out to me. I have Twitter, and a lot of you know me on Discord and things. But thank you guys. J-Chip, what is your kind of, like I did my like kind of run through. What is your, if someone said, hey, recap what we talked about tonight, like your thoughts on like filler, beach episodes, bullshit.
One, Bleach episode, or beach episodes.
Bleach episodes are bullshit. Heard it here, confirmed.
Okay, so beach episodes can be good, depending if I actually like the series, because if I had to pick a favorite beach episode, it'd probably be something from Heaven's Lost Property. Why not? That's just the one I can think of off the top of my head. Recap episodes are bullshit. I don't want them. If you're going to do a filler arc, at least make it good. And if you're going to do a filler, just at least make it good. Like, I just want good product. That's all I care about.
What about, and then are you in favor of anime original endings?
If they need
to be done.
if they need to be done, yeah.
Okay. All right, so we agree for the most part.
Yeah.
And some of Chad agrees. I even agreed with Light Lelouch for like the third time in our lives.
Who agrees
Light,
with Light Lelouch?
Light, we're becoming closer friends. We're like, oh, and let me click the cameras. This is better. We're like brothers, only closer. Burp, 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 burp. Shout out to Steven Hillenburg. Rip.
Who agrees with Light?
I do on some things.
But he asked, what do we think about the Gurren Lagann beach episode?
I haven't seen. I'll go first. I haven't seen that much Gurren Lagann. I stopped at episode 8 or whatever the fuck it was when we all know what happened. Also, Gurren Lagann, for the most part, looks like shit. Your turn.
It was all right.
I dislike the ending of Death Note as far as endings go. You're talking like the anime ending, Warp. I've never read the whole manga, so I don't know how it compares.
The manga and the anime end pretty much the same.
Okay.
It's just one is more dragged out more.
Interesting thing about Death Note is I recommend the Japanese live action movies, not that American bullshit one. The original 2 live action movies that they did for Death Note, because they're very good. They have a different ending. I don't hate the original Death Note ending. I think it's okay. I fucking hate Light Yagami, not Light Lelouch. I fucking hate Light Yagami. So like, I kind of thought I was kind of pleased with how that went down. However, I think Death Note, if it has issues, it stems from its second half compared to its first, because after certain events happen halfway through the show, you're introduced to 2 new antagonists who combined aren't remotely as cool as the first antagonist of the series, in my opinion. But yeah, that's happened. What do you think about Death Note?
Death Note's a pretty cool series.
What, did you like the ending?
It's okay. It's not a bad. I don't think it's terrible. It didn't like offend me or anything like that.
Okay, so Warp, yeah. It's more so like the latter half after Elle dies. The anime goes down. Yeah. Interestingly enough, that is Miasma's dad's favorite anime of all time is Death Note. I have yet to see. It was like the second one he ever saw, maybe third, and I have yet to show him one that he has liked more. When is your dad going to be on the podcast? I don't know. He was on a BS podcast, a Bearded Senpai podcast, which, by the way, you guys should check out. I have a whole bunch of podcasts that are just me. If you like hearing me talk about things, if you don't, then okay. And you can hear my dad. There is one of me interviewing my dad about anime. So if you want to hear the thoughts of a like 50-something-year-old dude talk about anime, who has seen probably, I think, about 30 anime now, maybe even more. I forget, but a ballpark around there. Yeah, but you're jealous because I have a Harry Lolly. Yeah, there's the Harry Lolly autograph with a little smiley face. Maybe if you sign up for Patreon and give me a bunch of money, I'll get Harry to send you an autograph. Light and my dad have the same favorite anime. Nice. But yeah, I want to thank J-Chip Show for coming. Check out his channel down below in the description. If you have not already subbed to him and stuff, then check out his Patreon. Check out my Patreon too if you want. Yeah, the YouTube sub purge made me lose 2 subs. Oh no! So come give me some loving. Mostly, the more important than that, more important than the money, just like interact with us. You know, I love hearing from you guys. It's been an awesome chat tonight. I'm so glad that we got so many people coming in and talking. I know some of you would be working, but have like other circumstances that have been keeping you from working. So unfortunately, that those circumstances happened. But I'm glad that you are here. Warp. It's glad to see you guys, and thank you so much for coming. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. And
we might have art.
Yeah, we might have our.
Yeah. I know Light was kind of feeling depressed that we didn't have art, but don't worry, art is always here with us in spirit.
Preparing for the parents to visit. All right, good luck, Light. Have a good one, Warp, Sweet Pea, Axel, everybody. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you next week. See ya.